Mubasombia umwancho murigerere bwegeta seni kya Ndizi TV nabwo bwansu bwo mu Gusii ngwege naritkoria uri abere ritoera kegima nago nogendrete kwego kya kubwati miroberi yonsi yegeta seni kya Ndizi TV nabwo bwansu nigo cyaragire Chinsa Isano na Ibere kerontete ko kwarigania SMS ya Amayia eriyo nkumanyie buna nara yaya nkwariganiretie asenchera ere yobwenge ritkoria rere kerorire ritkoria ijuma tariki 15 itariki 11 cyo mutienyi o 11 omwaka bwechi Ibere na meronko Ibere murai wense Dr. William Samuel Ruto nigo aberega kumerana n'ababwatani korwase ekyombe kerigetenerete kibesa kirikikwenanwa kinga kibono abakora emeremo babere bagukoremeremo bose kerikemanyikante na pension and trustees igabona umuroberi yo nigo gendreta korekana asensemo ya South Sea ime yomochi o Nairobi nekinga kiboigo o inspector general bw'abanyanyimbo mochore abakagotiani wabende eriyo gochaka obokoreri bwaye ase abananchi ko kwarigania eri nkomanye ayankwarganiretia senchera ere yobwenge eri tariane Everline Osero rutokubwatirana nere kwene kiabuna wekera sensemo yimanyerero nigakoro kwa Joshua Auta. Ngokwarigani bono mwancho murigereria kerongo koinyulia buna naboko gendera gotonyora sense media ya Facebook wetra Ndizi TV News Digital asense moya YouTube Ndizi TV News nabo tweetwetra so mutandao Twitter @Ndizi TV News boigo nabo ogotonyora ase website yeito wetra www.ndizitv.or.ke erio togendere gusanga amanke ngotogo chaga korwase county ya Kisii awase umutenenerio Kisii municipality na hashononkeri abeire kawe sokia nagokwanira igoro yogosie kwa kwemebogane chinyomba cyo kwegokia ase amatukabwa ngoiga askeri ate abeire ga kwerera chingenche chirete chiba echogosie kwa na otebabuna onye abanyene emebogania iyo tibagochia kubwatia machikali abwenerete rirorio nabo barachikogendera gosiekerwa igentononya nabo kerachie kole mario bonchoreria ase county ya Kisii.
2 days ago, we gave a statement in the press regarding closure of some clubs and pubs and wines and spirits in Kisii. And I want to give a rejoinder that on yesterday, we had a meeting with the bar owners, specifically the owners of Lamina, the owners of Jazz, the owners of Seven Seas, owners of CJ, owners of Whiskey Lounge, RAILA, and the rest of the big clubs and pubs in Kisii. It was being chaired by our county commissioner, and in presence was our director of environment and our director in charge of liquor. And we had a very constructive discussion, and the operators, that's the bar owners, committed that henceforth they will observe the law in their operations. And they apologized for any wrongdoing previously. And the chair of the committee, as our head of security within Kisii, and the team which was in the meeting, agreed to allow the affected bars to resume operations and warn them, and that henceforth, if they are in contravention of any of these laws, we won't hesitate to crack the whip. We won't hesitate to enforce the law accordingly.
Magega yogo chorwa na kunenki wa kwaye Jafet Kome buna umutenero munene bw'abanyanyimbo gose Inspector General ritkoria rero nigo atianiwe bene irigo chakobo koreri ase abananchi murobero yo nigo korekana asa magacho yekigambiro gia Supreme ase orawa no munachebi no munene Mother Kome.
Thanking God, the Almighty God, for giving me the opportunity to appear before the Honorable Chief Justice, and of course before Kenyans, to take this very important oath. Secondly, thank His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samuel Ruto, CGH, who is also the Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces. Thank him most sincerely for finding me fit again to serve our country. Also thank the legislature, the parliament, Chief Justice. I can imagine the responsibilities given to me by our people. I promise I'll do my best.
Gukwana chinga kiatianiwa kome nigo amwakirambia muno murai wense Dr. William Samuel Ruto asokumwegena na kumwari bageri okorera abana inchemeremo asari ira yo gochia kwene kyabunango ikeraniare emirimo yaye bunebwenete anene ase okurigereria na uburendi bwarokanire imeyense ya Kenya ase mono abaga kurwege kurege tindi gochia se bali barachi kubwatiraniwa na mangana yo bosaria bwe chingencho au na batana nigo barachi kwimukerirwa egetamkirege tindi korengana nerichiko.
I, Japhet Komen Ibere, having been appointed the Inspector General of Police, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Constitution and the President of Kenya during my service in the National Police Service without favor or affection, malice or ill will, that will at all times do my utmost to preserve the peace and to prevent offenses against the peace. That while I shall continue to hold the said office to the best of my skill and knowledge, discharge all the duties thereof faithfully according to the law, I will subject myself to the Constitution, all acts, orders, regulations, and now or in future relating to my service in the National Police Service, and that I will discharge all the duties of a police officer according to the law, without fear, favor, affection, or ill will. So help me God.
Omona chebi no munene Martha Koome oyora umuyego yo ni gaoro kyokwege na kwa yabuna obokorere obyambo chwekeraniwa anene ase ensemo yoburendi togotigana nayo nigo ababwatani korwa se byombe ibe bitariye bya serikali nabo igo bikwegerera obwene bwa mwanya bantu baganirie abarayigo chamo na gutiga gotumeka chingwa na chimbe gose chitabwenereti bose wabananchi korengana nabo bwatani korwa se byombe byo nigo bateru nenchire yemo yo kworokia gose okobekyorokera kebego chiase abananchi na mono kerachi gusaria omorembe na boigo obubwatani obuya bwa Kenya.
We are equally concerned about the wave of careless utterances and calculated political events that are happening across the country. We note that nothing happens in isolation, and we reiterate that these are part of a grand scheme to test the democratic resolve of the Kenyans. And the most significant of these utterances is actually a proposal to remove the term limit for the presidency.
We are equally concerned by recent remarks by the Cabinet Secretary for Education, who is on record stating that universities should generate their own revenue, as the government of Kenya would no longer fund them. Education is a right and must be made accessible to all Kenyans. This attempt to consign rights from public governance to private interest is ill-advised, as it will result in increase in tuition fees.
Chinga KOMOCHIA bwenchara ogenderete kwenekiwa ase county au imense ya Kenya nigo ikekeireire ababwatani bedini ege Catholic wesokia na kuboria abarayi kurigereria enganeye buna umuchando monene na kuimukia egetambukiro kebwenerete erio gokonya abananchi yani gachire chinga kibono abarayi au na boigo ababwatani korwa sebyombe au bagenderete wesokia na wikirana ase chinsemo chiria abantu bakiri no muchando bwenchara erio korwa obokonyi bwendagira.
The current drought situation in the country, especially in the arid and semi-arid regions, has now reached a crisis level. The consequent famine is regrettable and unacceptable. This calls for urgent and decisive actions from all actors. While we commend the government for its efforts in releasing food relief to those affected by famine in the country, we have received reports that some of this support has not reached the intended recipients or is taking too long to reach them. We appeal to the government to set up a better coordinated multi-agency system of distributing emergency relief by including faith-based organizations in order to ensure that the support reaches the most vulnerable people and does not end up benefiting a few well-connected individuals.
Ekiombege korigereria ebintu anene chindagire cyo chikorosi wase obutumeki bwa mwanya bantu kia caps nigo kiaborire abanchereria kweneke bunango bwatia bare amachikari abwenerete achinga kibono bakorosi ya chindagera erio chicheko bachingia asemebere ya mwanya bantu okwana chinga kiecho mu managing director bwe kiombekyo Bernard Njiraini nigatero na nigo babuchia kubeke merobere saine yoko eneke abunango korigereria bare boikranu chinda ya Kenya.
So emphasize as a country that the only way you can make progress, become competitive, is and attract people to buy your product is producing quality products. Because we have not seen any successful company in the world that has succeeded out of making substandard or undercutting all that.
A lot of companies in Kenya have embraced quality, and we can see this in the fact that most of our industry have departments of quality assurance and quality control in them. And this shows that most of these manufacturers have realized that without quality, your products cannot go anywhere.
Omubunke bwebunke ya molo kuria kimani nigamo chirenga nayo muraiwe kyama kya ODM RAILA molo dinga asogoteba buna omuraiwense Dr. William Samuel Ruto nigo abwate tobo noyo kabeire omuteneri bwe kyombe kyobutukino busaria DCI George Kinoti.
Sasa kusema kitu ya kwanza ati vile tumesema yule DCI ambaye alikuwa pale awali. Hata hapa Elbagon kuna vijana wengine ambao wamedisappear na wamepotea na tujui walienda wapi. Kumbe askari hao walikuwa na hiyo special unit ambao wakishika mtu ama wakisuspect mtu either support serikali ama amefanya makosa, badala ya kumshika kumpeleka kotini, ilikuwa wakazi yao wanafanya kuwaua. Yule mtu ambaye peke yake anastahili kuchukua maisha ya mtu ni Mungu peke yake. Only God should kill. Ama only God should take away a life, kwa sababu maisha ni yake na anachukua wakati anafanya nini? Lakini maisha ya binadamu is sacred. Hata huyo ambaye ni mkora zaidi, ama hata huyo ni mtu wa aina gani, wacha apelekwe kwa tini, asomewa mashtaka, afungwe jela kama lazima afanye nini? Sio wananchi. Wakati tulianza kusema hivyo, ameanza kusema tutafuata DCI Kinoti. Sisi serikali ya William Samoei Ruto ilisema hivyo. Hatuna haja ya kumfuata mtu yeyote. Ile tuna haja nayo ni haki kwa Wakenya wetu wote. Ameanza kusema tena ile mambo tuna propose ya kwamba kama mambo ya NSSF, kwa sababu NSSF saa hizi tunakata pesa kila mwezi, lakini baada ya kufanya kazi miaka 30 ile pesa ambayo mtu anaenda kulipwa kama NSSF inakuwa ni only 72,000 shillings after working for 30 years. 70,000 shillings ikiwa pension hata itoshi kunua hata motorbike moja, hata ukisema atununue bodaboda uajiri mtu ama uende ukabebe nayo.
Wikiraga igabano mwancho muriyere rinongo korera Amayia Chinsa Isano na Ibere asenchera ereyo winge korende inyora kero charage Chinsa 10 enseyemo na baigo Chinsa isato cyabongoroba ayamunayo yanda manken togendrete go kwarganeri gatiabo kunenkiwa kwa ba chief officers kurwase serikali ya county ya Nyamira murobiri ogendrete ase county assembly ya county ya Nyamira igabano mwancho muriyereria togendrete go kubwatira yutra cyo koretera asenchera yo winge chikoraga Chinsa 10 na baigo asenchera ereyo bekeranu Chinsa enseyemo ya mugoroba yendra gotwaro burigereri borobu ya ime ya Ndizi TV na bobwansu bwo mu Gusii ekarabagongo kwenyorera nabo kugendera gotonyora sense